On Zappa, yeah.
You should talk to Lewis, my bass player drummer. He's a Zappa fan. Yeah.
Bass player, drummer. What do you both?
He does both at once.
At once.
Yes.
What?
Mm-hmm. He
Okay,
plays bass with his hands and drums with his feet.
Let's start there. How does that work?
Well, he plays bass, and then he has a kick drum, hi-hat, and snare that he, are just all foot pedal operated. So he can play the bass and trigger the pedals to do the drums at the same time.
So how many people are in the band then?
There's 3 of us. We have a lead guitar player. I play rhythm guitar and sing. The bass player does the bass and drums, and they sing harmonies as well.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, we have a drummer sometimes, but he is based in England, and we can't always figure out visa things. So sometimes we have a drummer, and when we don't, Lewis, the bass player drummer, does a great job. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
What's coming out in the set list tonight?
We haven't talked about it yet.
Are any of these covers? You have a lot of covers online, I've noticed.
We do. We'll probably pull out a cover. People really like Pursuit of Happiness. We've been doing it so much. We still love playing it, but I would think it's probably time to retire that one, but we get so many requests. I mean, a lot of people only know of us through that cover, so we'll probably pull that out. And we don't do the Lady Gaga one really anymore. There's a new one we've been doing, Maxine Nightingale, who's
I don't know her.
She was kind of a one-hit wonder, which is a song, it's all right and it's coming on, we're gonna get it right back to where we started from. We do that one, so maybe we'll do that. But otherwise, just songs off my album, Catching a Tiger.
Nice.
And my EP that I put out 2 years ago called Why You Runnin'. So a little mishmash of material that I've put out in the last year or two.
Well, last time we talked a few months ago, like I was saying before, you were writing. So how are we?
I was,
coming along?
That was sort of a rare little interlude because mostly we've been touring, so the writing's sort of gone on the back burner. Because I was just saying in another interview, when you're on the road, at least for me, I don't have time to think. I'm just focusing on the most primitive kind of actions like sleeping and eating and then singing. But so I don't have a lot of time to think about my life or how I feel or what I think or what, So I did do some writing, which went while I wrote this great song about my baby niece who was about to be born. And we haven't worked it out as a band yet. But after this, next month, the touring's over, I'm just going to kind of lock myself up in my house and write for 3 months. So the writing is sort of not the focus of attention right now, but there's a lot of stuff brewing. I think it's going to be good.
Can you write with people, or is it always just you?
No, I write with people. Okay. I was resistant to that a couple years ago when I started writing for Catching a Tiger. I kind of thought, real artists write by themselves, but I realized quickly that I was a fool to think that because there's people for example, these 2 guys I write with in England, one kind of comes up with music ideas. And he knows a lot about music and theory, whereas I, kind of have a limited amount of chords I play. So he could kind of throw this really great progression at me, and I would come up with the melody and the lyrics, but then the other guy sort of is a writer. And so whereas the lyrics are mine, he'll sort of call me out on a line and say, you sort of are being lazy with that line. I think you can say it better. And I think it's good to have that sort of encouragement when you're writing a song, because songwriting for me was always sort of I need to just get this feeling out, and once the feeling was out, it was almost laziness, this song's done, I feel better, it's off my chest. Whereas to be writing for a record, you can't just, you can, but you also sort of need to try a little bit harder, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't just be it's done, it's good enough, it doesn't even have a chorus, but I feel better, so it's over. It's nice having someone there who's you need to come up with another part, sort of like writing coach. I like having a writing coach.
You said writing for a record. Do you need a record? Do you need a full album anymore?
I do. I don't know. I don't think I'm really in that category of people who are just putting out singles that are downloaded on iTunes. Of course, I'd love to have a single that was downloaded on iTunes. But, I'm into making entire records because I think, I like the idea of an album being sort of, a summary of what you've been going through. Because for me, writing and making music is primarily a means of release of emotion. So it's not even as much sometimes about the actual music or the production as it is about the sentiment and the melody and how it makes me feel emotionally. So I need to make a full album. Just individual songs isn't where I really want to come from.
How long did it take to make that?
That was, your first record, it's sort of your whole life leads up to it. I'd had a billion songs, and then I was able to sort of whittle it down to the ones that I'd written in the time period before I recorded it. So I guess maybe I was writing for 6 months to a year before I recorded it, and it was kind of through this breakup. So they were all sort of within that emotional landscape, I guess. Yeah. So.
All right. Then are the new songs going to be a little happier?
Well, I don't think
Are they still gonna be breakup songs?
I think breakup songs can be happy because they acknowledge what everyone goes through, but then they put a hopeful spin on it. So I really am into that. The hope of people all sort of going through crappy stuff and figuring out a way through it and learning about themselves and seeing, oh, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. At the time it hurt, but now I can see, why it happened, or, having a bit of perspective. I don't know if they're like happy songs as much, I don't know what they're going to be about. I find myself wanting to write about, sometimes I want to write about like mountaintop removal. That's the song I've got in the works.
Okay. Mountaintop removal.
It's like a practice in mining where they literally remove the tops of mountains for the minerals, and then they like try to approximate what the mountain looked like and try to put it back on.
Okay.
But sometimes they don't, and then they put all the sediment and the debris into like water supplies and like taint water supplies. It's just like, it's environmentally whack.
Wow.
Not that I'm some expert on environmental issues, but there's that idea of like going to the mountain and it not being there.
That's crazy.
What took billions of years to form by nature, just within one go, someone being able to take off the top of a mountain and just like rape it of its like essence, and then really poor people who live in these areas who are willing to let these mining companies do that because it gives them something to live off of. And so that's really a sad subject.
Yeah, let's switch it, because you're playing a lot of festivals this summer. Let's go to live music.
Yeah, no, so anyway, long story short, though, I find myself writing about that, and sometimes I want to write, happy songs about love, and, love isn't always sad. It's a wonderful thing.
It sure is.
Or, about pursuing someone, or about how much you love your family, or, I have all these sort of different parts to my personality, so long story short, I'm writing a lot about a lot of different things.
Cool.
But there's always hope in there. There's nothing, no complete bummers.
No, that's true. And the songs are very good on the last record, too. So you're at Lollapalooza in like 2 days.
So we go there tomorrow, we play Sunday. Yeah. We do 2 things here tonight. Go to Chicago in the morning, do some like promo, and then play a show tomorrow night at House of Blues in Chicago, and then do Lala on Sunday. And then where do we go? And then we go to Colorado. Oh no, Iowa City. Anyway. And then so on and so forth. Nice.
Well, how is the summer going? Must be fun to do all the festivals.
It's been good. Last summer we played probably like 30 festivals. So last summer was really when we were in the mix, mostly overseas. But this summer, it's been good because we had like a good run in Europe where we did a lot of cool festivals, but we're a bit more selective because we didn't want to like get burnt out because we are prepping to like go and make a new record and write. So it's been kind of like an easier summer than last summer. Like the things we've done have been really impactful and great, but it hasn't been as hectic. So we're just doing this festival, which is going to be awesome, doing Lollapalooza, kind of doing enough stuff, but not cramming in every single thing. We were just talking to the guys from Noah and the Whale, and it's like they were in Tokyo in Australia, and then they flew here, and we've done that stuff. Not Tokyo, but we've done where you're just flying, go. This festival hitting up every single thing. This summer for us hasn't been that. It's been a little more relaxed. So.
You like it more relaxed?
I do, but I'm sure I'll be ready for more craziness again. You go through cycles. I feel like I'm completing a cycle and getting ready to start a new one.
Right. Well, yeah, if you're ready for a new record, that's for sure.
Yeah, and then like midway through the cycle is when you're really hitting it. And then I think then you wind down and then you start again. And, life is all about cycles.
We got a bunch of bands dropping by the booth today, and I kind of want to ask them all the same kind of questions about live music and what a festival means to you. What makes a good festival? You've been to so many. You were talking about 30 last summer. Yeah,
I think, the people that come out, who are probably work throughout the week and are ready to just sort of like let loose, kick off their shoes, and they're in a good mood, and they're not really worrying about their problems. They're sort of escaping for the weekend. So I like that part, the element of being at a festival, because people are ready to have a good time. They're in pretty high spirits, and you really as a performer pick up on that energy, and it sort of pushes you, I think, to give more. So live shows and venues are great too, but that's just a different energy. Being outdoors is always great. So a good festival, I think, is just, a group of happy people who are leaving their cares at the door and ready to get down.
What is the side stage that you're playing today? You're playing stage 6 o'clock. What with a whole bunch of people?
Yeah, we're doing a thing called Talking About My Generation. I don't really know what it entails, but it's us and Noah and the Whale and Angelique Kudrow and Taj Mahal, and we're doing like a songwriter in the round thing at 6.
So you with an acoustic or?
No, it'll be my full band setup.
Oh, okay.
And then it's funny because like last night we were like, what are we doing? Like, what is this? Like, oh gosh, I'm nervous. Like Taj Mahal. Like, I don't know if we're supposed to sing together or collaborate. There's no plan in what.
I like how there's no plan, though.
Yeah.
That makes it interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then at 9 we play the main stage. So we're playing a lot of music tonight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there anything else I wanted to ask you? You're on the new Snow Patrol CD?
I am.
What?
Yeah, which is funny because I actually didn't know those guys. I wrote with a guy named Ian Archer, who's an Irish guy, a couple years ago. And somehow, and he plays with Snow Patrol, so he had told Gary about me or turned him on to my music. And I got an email asking if I'd come and sing on their new record. So I went to Malibu and they just played me the tracks and I made up harmonies. I mean, I'd never heard the songs. I just started singing harmonies and whatever, just sort of going, making shit up. And sorry, can I say shit on the radio?
Yeah, that's
sorry.
fine. Beep it
out. And then they edited it and used some of it. So there's like 4 songs that I'm on. I mean, I'm not like featured on the lead lines, but you know, you can hear my voice in the background. It sounds incredible. So, but that's probably about all I can say.
That's fine. That's
yeah.
Good. Just curious. I saw it on Wikipedia. I was like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, oh, is it already on Wikipedia?
It is.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I just recently tweeted that I had done it and people were like, what?
Oh,
so
someone right there, right? Crazy
yeah,
fans.
somebody's on there. There's like stuff on Wikipedia. Like it says I'm an avid like science fiction reader, or fantasy novel person.
Not so much?
Oh, sort of, but I don't think like avid. I read Harry Potter. I mean,
that's
who
avid.
hasn't?
7 books. That's quite a few.
But you're sort of like, oh, someone read that somewhere and like quoted it. Oh gosh.
And now it's out there for the world to see. That's how it works nowadays.
Yeah, I'm not ashamed of that. I just think like, oh, well, if you ask me about sci-fi, I wouldn't be able to tell you the first thing about it. So.
What about Back to the Future?
Don't know. I've seen it when I was young, but I don't remember.
That's all I got for sci-fi.
Marty McFly. I don't know.
Good enough. I'll take it. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice to talk to you.